So what are all the things that you can make with Silhouette Cameo 4, which is a 12-inch cutting plotter and that costs around $280 to $300? In this video, we're going to show you a lot of previews of what you can make with your Silhouette Cameo 4 and that are very profitable if you want to start a decal business but you don't have a big budget or the income to get a bigger machine. Well, stick around and make sure you give us a like and subscribe if you are new to this channel, because this video is gonna be interesting and we're gonna give you a lot of information about this cutting plotter. So let's get started. So before we start, let's start with the most important questions. What are the most sold items in this business? For us, it's car magnets, car decals, t-shirts, yard signs, and banners. So how do we sell these products? Well, we advertise on social media like Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, or mouth to mouth. The customers spread the word for us, and we also sell online like eBay and Etsy and many others. And perhaps the most common question we get is, how much do we charge? Well, we always recommend that you do local research, since every state and every country has different prices. But if you like to see how we do it, make sure you watch the end screen. Let's start with car decals. And the type of vinyl that we use for this type of product is the Oracle 651, and it's the 12-inch roll if you have the Cameo 4, of course. But if you get the Cameo Pro, which is the 24-inch cutting plotter, you should get the 24-inch rolls. If you are wondering why we didn't use a cutting mat when cutting the vinyl, well, Oracle 651 it's not necessary that you use a cutting mat. And the settings when cutting Oracle 651 is blade 3, cutting force 10, and speed 6. Make sure you do your own test too before you start cutting your designs. And the type of transfer that we use for Oracle 651 is the R-Tape Clear Choice AT75. And of course, you're gonna make other investments like the application roller tape, which is very necessary if you own a Cameo 4. And why is that necessary? Well, we're gonna explain to you in detail later on. But for now, let's move on to t-shirts. Let's talk about scissor glitter, which is a really nice type of HTV we use for our glitter. And the settings are blade 5, cut force 18, and speed 8. And again, do your own test before you start cutting your glitter. And for scissor glitter, it is also not necessary that you use a cutting mat when cutting the HTV. For many years, we have noticed that many restaurants and people that work in the food industry like this type of material because it is very attractive and it catches the eye of the servers, waitresses. We do this a lot on caps, aprons, and also t-shirts, as you saw on the video in the intro of this clip. And it is, as you can see, very nice and detailed when cutting with Cameo 4. Again, do your own test and find the perfect cutting force for you. Whenever you're gonna use scissor glitter or scissor easy weed HTV vinyl, always do a pre-press on the garment because that will take all the moisture away. And the temperature for it is 310 Fahrenheit for 40 seconds, and that is for the scissor glitter. Now let's talk about car magnets, which, by the way, is the #1 most sold item in our business. And for this type of product, we use the same type of vinyl, which is the Oracle 651, and the settings are also the same ones that you saw in the beginning on car decals. And well, let's talk about the transfer that we use for this type of product. It is also the R-Tape Clear Choice AT75. And as I have mentioned in the beginning, why is necessary that you get the transfer roller tape? Well, when you are cutting big designs, it helps you to align your vinyl with the Cameo 4 because it prevents the vinyl from moving and it gives a better grip when you align your vinyl, especially when you are making big designs. As you can see here, it is approximately a 60 to 50 inch big design. And here's another reason why you should get it, because not very many of us have enough hands or help when adding the transfer, and this is the main purpose of this tool. It helps you put your own transfer when you're working alone. It is very handy and very important that you get this tool. To make this product, you will also need a cutting mat that's big enough for cutting your car magnets. And the type of roll that we use is the Magnum Magnetics. You will also need a safety ruler for cutting your car magnets. And just use a box cutter and it will do the job. Again, just make sure you get a cutting mat that's big enough for cutting your car magnets. The good thing about car magnets is that you can do this indoor or from the comfort of your home. Just make sure you use the proper tools, and one of those tools is the cutting knife, which will help you not leave any paper residue because that's what scissors do. So try to use your cutting knife more when doing car decals. Another handy tool is the rapid tack, and this helps us when we want to clean the surface or when we want to layer colors on top of other colors. If you decide to use the R-Tape Clear Choice AT75, make sure you remove it safely since it's a high-tack transfer. And here's a good example of why we use rapid tack when we are layering colors on top of other colors. But make sure you do this when it's about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Do not do wet application when it's too cold outside. Believe me, it will be a hassle for you. Another occasion when you want to avoid wet application is when applying decals on glass because it takes longer for it to dry out since glass do not generate or accumulate heat as much as metal or other surfaces. So be very careful and try to know when it's perfect for you to use wet application or your rapid tack. Again, try to use it when it's hot enough or at least 50 degrees Fahrenheit. If you use registrations to layer colors, make sure you remove them as quick as possible or as soon as you're done with your project, because it might leave some adhesive residue, but you can always remove them with some adhesive remover. And of course, just remove them with your weeder and do it carefully. You don't have to scratch or you don't have to worry about that. Just pick at it on the size. When making yard signs, we also use the same methods and the same material. And the type of yard signs that we use is the corrugated plastic 4mm 24 by 18, and it comes with its metal base. And also try to get the big ones because those are the ones that we sell the most. Now let's talk about vinyl banners, and we like to get the 13-ounce outdoor. Make sure you get this thickness because most customers will use it for outdoor purpose, and we get the ones without the metal grommets because most customers get customized size, and we always like to add the grommets for ourselves because they always want different sizes, and you can of course always charge more when they want a customized size. And the way we do this and assemble it with just the Cameo 4, which is the 12-inch cutting plotter, we use the alignments to do kind of like a puzzle. And of course, I invite you guys to check out the full tutorials of all the videos that we have mentioned in this video. If you want to watch the whole tutorials, just subscribe to the channel and check out the videos and the full tutorials. And of course, we use the same vinyl, the same settings, the same transfer that you saw us using for car decals and car magnets. When it's time to add the metal grommets, we usually just mark a few dots on the corners and in the center and just use a grommet punch. As you can see here on the video, it is very simple to use it. Just do a punch and that's simple. Now let's talk about caps. When you want to do caps, we use Scissor Easy Weed HTV vinyl. And of course, you will need a cap press and other tools. And again, let me mention that we use the roller tape to align the vinyl, and also we don't need a cutting mat for cutting Scissor Easy Weed. And of course, we always recommend that you check out your own dimensions, but usually for caps, do not exceed more than 4-inch logos or designs, because you want to make sure that they are big enough for the cap. And this logo was around 3.7 inch, and as you can see, they are beautiful and very detailed. And now here's the cap press that we're gonna be using, and the temperature we use is 306 Fahrenheit for 14 seconds. Again, we're gonna use Teflon tape to secure the logos and the cap, and this is the brand that we use for this occasion. And again, always do a pre-press when doing HTB or any other garment to take out the moisture. And here's how we do it. We just cut a few pieces of Teflon tape to secure the logo and put them on the side. Make sure you cut the extras so that way it doesn't get on the way when cap pressing. And once you have it aligned, just do the whole cycle, since it's gonna be only one color design, and then do the whole cycle. If you are a little worried, make sure you use a little piece of Teflon sheet like we use here, and it is ready to go. One of the most interesting requests that we had recently was about making small but very small decals for a toy car or whatever you want to call this. And we just use extra vinyl that it was left from previous projects. This is why we recommend that you do not throw away your extras, because you never know when it's gonna come handy. Like this occasion, we did not have to use a roll of vinyl. We just used the extras for these very tiny and detailed cuts. As you can see here, this is how amazing the Cameo 4 is. It makes really small cuts and it is very detailed. And we just use the Art Tape Clear Choice AT60 when we want to apply on delicate surfaces. This is why it is very important that you have different types of vinyl colors and different types of transfers, because you never know when you're gonna use one or the other. There are many things that we are not gonna mention in this video that you can make with your Cameo 4. Believe me, you will be surprised. But just imagine if you can do all of this with just a 12-inch cutting plotter that barely costs around $300. Just imagine what you can do with a bigger one and more improved one. You can always upgrade later on when your business does better, because believe me, this business is definitely worth it and it is very profitable. But we always encourage you to do your own research too on prices and feedback from other people. And also do research on your prices and the products that you want to sell on your business. I want to thank all of you for many years of support, and also want to invite you guys to give us a like and subscribe to watch full tutorials on Cameo 4 from most of the videos that we have mentioned on this video. I also want to thank all the VIP members that have joined and that are supporting the cause for us to make more content and great information for you. But before I leave, I want to share perhaps the most shocking episode we ever made with Cameo 4, which is the one that you're watching on the screen. It is about these decals, the measure around 80 inches, and this was the final result. Again, I'll invite you guys to check out the full video. Thank you so much. I will see you guys again on the next episode.